Hello and welcome to my Suzuki. It's April, it's Halifax. Spring is in the air and we haven't made a video for a little while, but the one we're going to do right now is not so much a video but a project. And it's going to be something which is going to be ongoing, and we think it's going to be quite interesting because in the background we have Barbie's car. Okay, so yeah, this is a little bit different in as much as most of the cars that we do are from Japan. They are Japanese imports, they are special editions, and with it being my Suzuki, we took this in part exchange a little while ago. This is last year sometime, and we put it on one side because it looks quite special. You may have reservations, you may have doubts, but this car deserves some love and attention to come back to where it was when whoever had it fully resprayed and made it into a full-on pink convertible. So as I say, generally we don't take part exchanges. We get asked a lot to take, well, from now and again we get asked to take all sorts of cars because people find it a lot easier to swap from one car to another. We are not, in the true sense, motor dealers. We are motor traders, but it's a very niche, very sort of narrow path that we walk with the cars that we sell. And we also often get people who have a Jimny who would like to part exchange a Jimny. Because they love Jimneys, but they want one that's got no rust, rot, corrosion, and we're reluctant to take them on because although if we take them on, we take on the risk. For us to sell them on, they've got to be right. We've got to make them right. So there's a lot of considerations, because if they do turn out to be a little bit of a horror story, we may have to spend a lot of money putting that right just to pass it on, or we'll lose out. But this one, we were last year sometime, we sold a car to somebody and they said, would you take a part exchange? And we went through, we said we really don't normally. They said it's a Jimny. We said, well, yes, and I explained about the Jimny, the rust, rot, corrosion. Our USP, which is to sell cars which are rust free, are corrosion free, and I've never seen salt in the life. He said it's a convertible. I thought, well, that's interesting. He said it's automatic, and that's quite a rare thing. And then he said it's bright pink, it's Barbie pink. And I said to Heidi, I said, well, that's really interesting. Shall we give this a go? Shall we give it give it a bit of a gamble, see how it goes? So we took this in part exchange last year, and when it arrived, we weren't too disappointed, but what I'm trying to say is normally we would get a car and finesse it, underseal it, clean it up, polish it up, and it's like a new car. This is going to take a little bit more time, but it's a project, and I don't often get time to spend time working on cars, or the opportunity really, because he's usually got nothing to do with them. Nothing needs doing with them. We'll have a little bit of a look around this car and the condition it's in, and I want to document the condition because I think it's worthwhile bringing it up to a really high standard. So we're going to have a walk around a little bit. We're taking the headlights out because the headlights were, I don't even know how to describe them. They were the cloudiest things you've ever seen. We've sanded them down and we have lacquered them, so they are to come. They are to go back in, but not yet. It's pointless putting them back in yet because there's things we need to do beforehand. The bodywork looked absolutely awful. It was again, it was cloudy. We have washed it. It has been stood over winter, but we have washed it and we've given it a bit of a polish in certain places so we could see the potential of it, and the potential is there. When we got it, we took it straight down for an MOT because I wanted to know what was going on MOT wise, if it was going to be, like I say, a horror story, or if it's worthwhile. And it sailed through the MOT. All it needed was a little bit of corrosion removing from one of the brake lines at the back, and it had a weeping shock absorber, which on the face of it meant that it flew through the MOT. Did have a wheel on the back, we're going to put that on. As you can see, it's got a chrome bunny. The previous owner did some things for charity, breast cancer awareness, things like that. That would be nice if we could get involved with something like that somehow. It's difficult sometimes to work out how things are gonna formulate, but sometimes they just turn out, and we go with the flow. It's got some big fat wheels on, which aren't to everybody's taste, but I think they go with it. I think they go with the car. They've got spacers. What we need to do is source some centers which are appropriate for the car. As I say, it's convertible top. If you don't know much about them, that part flaps back, this part folds back. We're gonna have to take all this off, have a good look. We are more than likely going to reupholster the convertible top so it looks nice and new. Thinking about it, you can get it in different colours. I don't know if white's asking for trouble. White would look nice, black might be a safer bet. Onto the interior of the car. Like I say, it has been sat over winter. The seats definitely are going to need some attention. If nothing else, even if we clean them, we've got cigarette holes in and everything, we've got the seats out. Carpet will have to come out, carpet will have to be cleaned, carpet may need to be discarded. We've just put a temporary cover on the steering wheel wasn't nice at all. We will be putting a head unit in it. That head unit's going to come out, and we're going to put something else in. The car itself drives really nice. It hits potholes very heavily. So what we're more than likely going to do, because we're going to put some new suspension on it, we will more than likely put a lift kit on it. If we put a lift kit on it, we're going to put a coloured lift kit on it. So we're more than likely going to put probably only a 2-inch lift kit, but it will alter the car, it'll alter how it stands, it sits, and how it drives. But also, we're going to look at putting some underbody lighting on. And if you think Barbie meets Fast and the Furious, and it's going to be like, I don't know if you remember the Max Power from the 90s, that sort of a thing. Yes, it's going to be tongue-in-cheek, but it's also going to be a homage to that era, because I think that is the era that we're looking at. It has actually got some pink. It's got some pink lights under the dashboard, so on a night time, there's a pink glow in the footwell, and that's the theme that we're going to go with. So with what we're thinking is, we're going to lift it slightly, we're going to put some pink underbody lights on, we are going to put a bull bar on, we're definitely going to put a bull bar on, and more than likely on that bull bar, there'll be a chrome bull bar, more than likely we will put some fog light stroke spotlights on. We may put some chrome running bars down the side of it. Two minds whether to put a spare wheel on the back. I like Jimnys without a spare wheel on the back. I really do like them, but all depends. If we put a spare wheel on the back, then we will put a spare wheel cover on. We might even source a hard one, put some graphics on it. Now the seats, the interior, as I say, the seats are not looking in their best. So what we are thinking of doing is, we have got a spare set of seats. We've sourced some spare seats, some newer seats. We've got some which are more of a leather look, but we are considering trimming these in leather. If you think that's a good idea or the better idea, pop a comment below as to what colour you would go with these, because maybe white with black stitch with pink stitching, with black with pink stitching, along those lines. So here is where things start to change a little bit, and this is the boot floor, which looks like it could be a bit of a horror story, but it's not that bad. And this was literally a few days after it was MOT'd, brought it back up, took the seats out to have a look at the boot floor, and like I say, it passed the MOT. It flew past the MOT, because the MOT tester cannot test things that he or she cannot see. As you can see, and this is with minimal effort with a screwdriver, we've revealed quite a substantial gash along the wheel arch and moving into the boot floor, but not horrific, not terrible, not the stuff of nightmares, but the stuff that needs sorting out. So that there is quite solid, although it is starting to rust. What we will do is we will strip everything out of the back. We will grind it all back, weld it all up, underseal it from underneath and from above, make this car right. And that is one of the reasons, as I started to pull it apart to have a look at it, I thought, do you know what, this would be lovely if we documented it all the way along. So just as much as it's for your viewing pleasure, it's for our records, because we aren't in a rush to sell this, if at all ever. I can see us in 20 years time moving over to somewhere sunny, driving over in this, keeping it going as a classic car, as a little bit of a feature. And believe me, when we had this and we drove it around, there were a lot of children who were pointing and staring and tugging and saying, look at that pink car. So because we do sell Suzukis and because it's mainly Jimnys, this is perfect. This is a perfect vehicle to catch the eye. What we were looking at getting something to keep permanently as more of a marketing advertising vehicle. We were going to get a lifted Jimny from Japan, but I don't think anything would catch the eye as much as this. Now, underneath the bonnet, not so pretty at all. We've got what looks like mouse ingression there. But nothing that a bit of a clean won't do. The engine, like I say, lovely running engine, drives really nice, starts, runs, four-wheel drive works really well. Main thing though, underneath is pretty solid. Back of the headlights, you have got, obviously you can see the orangeness of rust, but not corrosion. The worst it is, there's a little bit of flake there. We will wire brush that all off, wire brush it all, treat it. We've got some rust converter. See how it goes? See how this goes. And I have all winter been looking at this car, and I am really excited to make a start on it. So what we're going to do, we are going to document the welding of the boot floor, the undersealing of it, how it looks underneath. We are going to fit a lift kit to it. We're going to fit underbody lighting to it. We're going to clean all the wheels up. We're going to put some centers on. We're going to put a bull bar on. We're going to wire in some fog lights or spotlights on the front. We may even add some fog lights into the blanks there, and anything else that it needs along the way. Like I said, the underbody lights, the interior cabin lights, trimming the seats in leather. Even if we change our minds and we go for some it would be high quality seat covers. But this is just the beginning of a journey of this pink Jimny that really deserves, like I don't think I mentioned it, I think it is about a 2002. I think it's an '02. As it stands, it's 22 years old. It's an old car. But it's a car I think that should be saved, and I've always heard tales of the convertible, that they are not as good a car as the Jimny because they're built in Spain. They're built in Spain, and if you look there, Santana Motors in Andalusia, these are built in Spain. And quite rightly, a lot of people have been on holiday, got a hire car, come home, said we got a Jimny, we loved it. But then you hear and they say, yeah, we drove up and down the beach, up and down the sand, on the edge of the sea. So not ideal if you have a car that you're hiring to people. But a lot of people, the first time they meet a Jimny, it's a hire car in Spain. So we're gonna do updates as quickly and as often as absolutely possible. But for now, I think it's sayonara until the next time.